It's difficult to answer, right?
Yes, it's because I think as a country, we have leaders who we have elected from ourselves, the larger population. And because our leadership has been in a state of denial, we've seen that the entire population is also in a state of denial. Already we're between MPP and NDC.
Yeah.
And so because of these entrenched party politics or partisan politics positions, we've decided to ignore what the reality is. Indeed, if you take the period 2007-2008, okay, this is the next time the whole world is in a recession. So it means that if there was no proper leadership in your country, and I'm talking about any country in the world, even the most developed in the world, that is having foresight, having a plan B, then it means that you're going to be in a difficult state.
Plan B?
Yes.
You're talking of plan B?
So you're
following, right?
Yes, so all now it has come to reality and to light. The countries who were governing with a certain foresight and with plan B are those that are surviving.
They are the ones
and that is the thrust or the bane of the argument that we keep making in the public space. And if we say we keep making, it's not us as media people, we're also stakeholders, but also the academics, the individuals, as well as the ordinary Ghanaian who are on the streets, our parents, everybody else keep making. That if we were governing with a plan B, it would also inform whatever futuristic policies we wanted for the generation, how we intended to spend the money we have today, in what items we intended to spend those monies, and how we will spend those monies. And that has brought us to where we are.
But I'm even thinking, Godwin, did we even have a plan A to even consider a plan B, Roland? We didn't even have a plan A.
So that brings us to the question that keeps popping up on any Ghanaian, whether educated or uneducated, but who is thinking right?
Oh, my
So that is the big question. Why is it that the countries in the world that are developed are able to survive in these turbulent times, and some countries are not able to survive?
It's amazing.
Do you understand?
I understand. It's amazing.
In 2021, the IMF gave us job. Oh, boss, you can go here.
Let's release you.
We'll wish you well.
All right. He looks mesmerized already.
Yeah. No, he's not. I think he's enjoying the conversation.
I am actually.
Yeah. But you know, okay, if you like, you should stay on. So
he can ask you one more question. Course, yeah.
You know, the IMF gave us an opportunity, and the World Bank, they gave us an opportunity. We signed on to what they called a debt suspension initiative.
Yeah.
It's called the DSSI.
Right, yeah.
The DSSI.
Yes,
do you understand?
Yes.
So you are a member of the IMF. They are giving you the opportunity to sign on to an initiative which will enable you to create a fiscal space, as we are even needing now, so that you don't find yourself in the current position. Our finance minister decided that we're okay. We're an independent country, or anybody talking about anything else is a Simbala and Tobias, it's a naysayer, etc. And that we can free ourselves from imperialism and decide to govern ourselves. And that is where we find ourselves currently. So all the countries that didn't have plan B are now suffering. It clearly shows that we didn't have a plan B. And the conversation about us spending or going on a spending spree is not that we use the money to go and build blocks of houses in East Legon, or the leadership decided to go and spend the money anyhow they wanted. It is how prudently you will spend that money so that your children don't tend to suffer. That's the bane of the argument.
Yeah.
So when they say you're on a spending spree, it also means that many of your ministers who perhaps may not be always towing your line by way of policy initiatives, but will only be whipped into line, would also not be suffering. Because we have great ministers who are supervising policies that maybe if they had their own choice wouldn't have been implemented.
Exactly.
And that is why we are where we are.
And
without plan B.
I
don't know whether we can play that gentleman who played the Odo song, the cough song.
Which cough song? Odo Yewu.
No, he has a new one.
Kiss Daniel.
Yeah, he has a new one. I will get rich before I die.
Yeah. RT, Rich Till I Die. Yes,
Do you
Rich Till
understand?
I
So
Die.
he says that
RTDI.
in the song, in the song, he says whilst plan A is good,
Yeah, plan B
is better.
Oh, you heard that line,
Yeah.
right? When I heard the song, that was the line
do you
that
understand?
hit me. Yeah.
So you are
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
And perhaps you'll be poor for the rest of your life.
Right.
But in your state of poverty,
Right.
it shouldn't get extreme. So that's
Right.
why you are poor, but you need a plan B for your poverty.
I love that jam. Now, listen, to add to what you were saying about the DSSI, now it says here that at the start of the pandemic, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund urged the G20 to set up the DSSI. Established in May 2020, the DSSI helped countries concentrate their resources on fighting the pandemic and safeguarding their lives and livelihoods of millions of the most vulnerable people. Now, 48 out of 73 eligible countries participated in the initiative before it expired at the end of December 2021. Now, remember that the Auditor General's report covered the period March 2020 till June 2022. And you have seen the rot. So this is what the DSSI was supposed to do: mobilize money, all the COVID money that we're able to mobilize in this country, and concentrate those resources to the very poor in society. Make sure that people survive the pandemic so that the recession that hits the world from 2020, your country, including this country, Ghana, would be able to survive it. Now, the Auditor General's report comes, and look at the rot. And my headache when I read it, the recommendations, or ask them to bring back the money, or ask them to provide documentation. We live in a country where if you make a mistake and steal banana, or you go and steal goat, or you owe somebody as low as 100 Ghana cedi or even 2,000 cedis, and they take you to the law court, you can be jailed for how many years? This very country. For crimes you can probably be asked to do community service for. Elsewhere,
just normal
here, exactly, here
yeah.
you are jailed for it. Now, we have public officials who have squandered money. They are still walking the streets free. How many times haven't we had Auditor General's reports, and we've seen that there has been serious embezzlement of government funds, but people who are responsible are walking free? Yesterday, and actually Johnny threw it in the group, that president that you love so much, the Malawian president.
Chakwera.
Exactly. Now, you heard that tape when it came to punishing
the Malawian
people.
Maybe we can pull it up.
Yes. Where he punished people for embezzling COVID funds. Now, we're walking up to the news that he had 33 cabinet ministers. As at this morning, he has reduced them to 27. 27. Now, initially, he gave himself a ministerial post as well as his vice president. Both of them had ministerial posts. They have taken that off themselves. Now, the president doesn't have, he doesn't even want to be a minister to serve anywhere. He wants somebody else to join. Now, he's taken 5 people out, added 5 new people to the cabinet, but they are a total of 27. How many ministers do we have in Ghana? Have we heard cries that let's cut the size of government, let's cut the size of government, let's cut expenditure, let's do this, let's do that? We don't adhere to it, but then we are touching individual bond holders. Does this even make sense?
And now we are in a position where utility tariffs have increased. Look,
can
Professor,
you imagine?
Professor, our own Professor Ransford Jampo.
Yeah.
And Professor Ransford Jampo can be described as one of the key people who was also in support of the Kufuor-led government. Indeed, unless anybody wants to say that the generality of the Ghanaian media, if not the public, didn't support the president. Because even now, there are still key media people who keep supporting some of the policies of government, of Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, that haven't gone well. And you can't say Professor Ransford Jampo isn't one of them.
Well,
it's not that he's a party person, but I think he had the hope that things will be done well. But they haven't been done well. And if the things haven't been done well, it has to be said. Look, this is what he said. He said the PRC is a stomach direction body. It has only increased and never decreased utilities. It has never been concerned about the shoddy services given to us by the utility providers. It has never considered the poor in society.
It's amazing.
And these are considerations that we all need to take cognizance of. Because we have utility companies in our country, whether it's the power company or it is the water company, that offers services and they lead to a number of losses either in transmission or distribution. And nobody takes them on because the government and the general society or the public owes them so much. We had introduction of ESLA, and now we've securitized it. So what do we do after that? We can't hold them responsible for anything. They just keep increasing utilities to the detriment of the ordinary Ghanaian. There are people on the street who we talk to, and we'll be playing those concerns or sentiments just in a few minutes, whose salaries haven't been increased. People who are holding degrees, they're earning 800 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. How do they make ends meet? The thing that I thought was a good introduction, that's the rental policy. How can they be earning 2,000 Ghana cedis, go and pay rent? 500 cedi rent, Medina now, maybe upenya single room for which you can't even have your own toilet, you can't have your own kitchen. You can't even have your own bathroom. You have to be sharing for 500 Ghana cedis in Medina. If you want a 500, you have to go to Dodowa or some place like that. And how do you even commute to work? And these are the things that are bothering young people, because our population is made up of the average of young people who should be in their productive ages, and they are having these problems. We went onto the streets, and these are some of the concerns they were raising.
The leaders really think about us because we are already suffering. And with this increment, I think even the money we make for a month doesn't even reach us. We are not able to spend to our own heart content. And right now they are increasing things without increments in our own earnings. We are already on the ground. I think they want to rather bury us right now. You can't reduce the consumptions. We need to purchase. We need to still consume things. But it's like what we are earning is not up to what we are consuming. So we are already at a loss.
My standard of living is affected or is merged by my salary, and then my utilities need to also go down a bit, such as the ECG increments and then the water. I would have to reduce the usage by making sure that I have enough to save.
Whether to stop using your kettle, your microwave, all those electrical things, you now have to think about it. And that means even if you are buying power, you have to buy more than you used to buy. If you say you're buying, now you can't even buy 50 cedis, now you have to buy like 100 cedis. So with the increment, you have to buy like 150 or 200 just to last you for the month.
Salary remain the same, so we find it difficult. Like maybe have air conditioning, TV, so we have to just cut some off. Right now I have to off my air conditioning because every month I buy 60 cedis. So right now I can't buy 60 cedis for air conditioning. No.
And you know, Cookie, these sentiments are not only being shared by ordinary Ghanaians. And these ordinary Ghanaians, you see how they are speaking nice English? Nobody is now illiterate. I'm not talking about book knowledge. It doesn't mean that if you can't speak English, you're not literate in a way, or you're not educated. We're talking about formal education. Now, young people, if there's a ship that will be going to Germany today, we'll be going to Canada, we'll be going to America or Australia, everybody will jump on board. And if you have leadership that doesn't see this as a big problem, then we should be raising questions.
Right, we should be.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And right now we have utilities. I have a mate, Reverend Dr. Jacob Jagri. He trained in Germany. Osofo, because he's a Catholic, so maybe he can't dress it. But at the end of the day, he said when he went to Germany, the services that he saw, my mate, Germany, he went to train and he saw how the distribution of resources, even those who were lower, so-called down the ladder, could manage in Germany. And he came back asking me, how is it that we're not able to do it? I said, I don't know, I haven't been to Germany before, you have been there. And he kept asking me the question, ask the lead. I said, Charlie, the question there, we've been asking since 2 decades. Nothing come out.
True.
So you have, when they come before the appointment committee, the degrees are from Harvard, they are from Yale, they are from Fordham University, Cambridge, London School of Economics. Every place that you can find internationally. These days, they're even going to China, etc. Big degrees. Then when you come to Ghana, Premier University, the University of Ghana, KNUST, they have everything there. They just can't implement the resources or the policies or distribute the resources that will make everybody comfortable.
It's amazing.
You know, you won't chop the money,
Exactly.
but make people comfortable.
Do the job.
Yes.
Do the job.
Implement. Right
do
now, we
the
don't
job.
need any new laws. Every
Do
day,
the
when
job.
you hear people, they say change the constitution. When you
Do
change
the
the
job.
constitution,
Do the job.
Now look at tariffs. How can people
Before
manage?
we even get there, so there was an announcement that came from ECG that had an explainer. I want to read that one before we even get to the tariffs, and it will be on your screens in no time. Let me just, okay, so there it is. It says announcement, and this is from the ECG, was released on Tuesday, 31st of January to take effect from yesterday, the 1st of February. Now it says implementation of first quarter tariff review effective 1st February 2023. Now the Electricity Company of Ghana wishes to inform our cherished customers and stakeholders that the upward review of electricity tariff for the first quarter will be implemented with effect from Wednesday, 1st February 2023, as announced by the PURC on 16th of January 2023. Now, ECG has catalogued all unit consumption and the expected cost in a reckoner, which clearly explains how the tariff is applied and billed. Please note that the individual customer's tariff percentage increase will depend on customer classification and consumption category. The reckoner will be displayed at all our districts and customer service centers nationwide to guide customers on their electricity purchases. ECG, by this announcement, assures our customers and stakeholders of our commitment to ensuring a smooth implementation of the new tariff. Meanwhile, ECG has established customer help desks in all our districts and customer service centers to assist, explain, and reconcile any challenge. We take this opportunity to advise customers to conserve energy and spend less on electricity. Help ECG serve you better. ECG, my only question to you this morning, this is amazing, this is fantastic, but this reckoner that you have displayed in only the district offices and in your ECG offices, perhaps, is it possible to send it as a text message to all consumers so that we have foreknowledge of what I am supposed to pay or how much money I'm supposed to carry before I get to the ECG office? Is that possible? I don't know how lengthy this reckoner is. I don't even know what it looks like. But just in case I do not have time to come to the ECG office, and I probably may have to send a sister, a domestic help or something, is there anything you can send to my phone that can guide me to know about the new increments and the tariffs that you are talking about? Just a question I'm asking. I stand for correction. If it can be done, we are in a digital age, and this government has been preaching digitalization for a very long time. For the last 6 years, they've been preaching digitalization. I was at that forum that Dr. Baumia came to speak. What's the name of that place? Exactly, I was there when Dr. Baumia came to speak about digitalization.
Where,
Ashesi University.
Oh, okay.
I was there. So if we're in the day and age of digitalization, please, the question is, can you send these information through my phone, email or something, so that I will be in the know or have foreknowledge before I come to the district offices or your offices as well? Roland, let's go to the tariffs now.
So now we have to go through the tariffs. And these are the tariffs that we have. We'll quickly just put them on the screens for you, and then you get the latest update as far as this is related. But we also do know that, well, these are the costs.
So in January, LPG, I mean gas that you use in your homes, some taxi drivers even use to power their vehicles, was going for 11 cedi, 27 pesos per kilogram. And now it's going for 13 cedi, 88 pesos per kilogram. So it means that if you have the 14.5 kg in your kitchen, in your restaurant, wherever you find yourself, if you have the 14.5 kg, you paid 163 in January, but in February, you are going to pay 201.26. Well, I paid 188 in January. from where I buy it from, I paid 188.
Yeah, East Legon, those places.
It wasn't even East Legon. It was very close to Ashaiman. Very close to Ashaiman.
I live at Ashaiman. Don't be doing those things.
No, it was 188. So that's what it's saying right now. How can I be lying? I can bring you receipts for you to see. 188, yeah.
Okay.
Now, so this is the pricing for fuel, petrol, and diesel when we started the year in January, the second pricing window. Petrol was, the second pricing window, yes. So it was, petrol was going for 13 cedi, 60 pesos. Diesel was going for 15 cedi, 52 pesos. But let's go to February now. Now, petrol has shot up to 14 cedi, 23 pesos. And diesel is now going for 16 cedis, 22 pesos. This year, unless you people run away. This year, unless you people run away. Okay, so we've done that for petrol, diesel. We've done that for gas as well. Which one are we left with? That's it, right? So from utility increment to agenda 111, which was supposed to be completed in 18 months, now has been shifted to maybe the end.
Not to cut you. Emmanuel, one of our lead cameramen, he said the things that we go up. When you be, you there with Medina, Medina is like God that lie. Yeah, but those people, yeah, Charlie. Actually, betray.
Unless people run away.
I drink, no. Those people, yeah, be buying the vintage cars. I have plenty of them. They are rich people. Oh yeah. This is unless you people run away. Jesus Christ. Charlie, it's also large General Hospital. It's part of the agenda 111.
You went there yesterday.
Yeah,
give us the update. What was happening?
You know, the project
Charlie, I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but sometimes when I find yesterday,
you know, the project.
I'm so sorry.
The project at the time that was introduced or approved was supposed to cost 68 million euros. Stand charts back to the LC, all right? And then the president went there, fanfare 2020, cut short. Promised the people, it will be fanfare, the promise the people of La that the project will be completed in 2 years.
Okay. Daniel,
oh, you know, that's the shot. These are live shots. Oh, we took them just yesterday.
What did you say? Just yesterday.
Share can it be here, Jeme? Be own.
Aleco Foundation.
My foundation. And a tomo artificial astrotef.
Wow.
And these are the realities that are facing the country. That is why I keep saying that you have to tell the people what the truth is. It's like, you know, our father, our old man.
Which one?
No, I'm talking about the president. Yeah, he's our father.
Yeah. I just wanted to be sure.
You have 10, that is 10 Ghana cedis. Tell us that, Charlie, right now, I have 10 Ghana cedis. This is what I have. I can get 20 Ghana cedis in addition. I'll get 30
Ghana.
No, 20 plus 10. So I'll get 30 Ghana cedis. So this is what 30 Ghana cedis can do. Even that 30 Ghana cedis, I have to make sure that the 20 Ghana cedis I want to call, I'm able to pay back within that period with the interest.
Wait, did this project start before National Cathedral? So this one was there?
No, National Cathedral has been on.
So National Cathedral,
National Cathedral,
wait, no, 2017. So this one was there, and we rather use the money for National Cathedral.
Well, you
and
can
we
say.
left
You
this
can
one.
say.
No, I'm just asking.
You can say yes.
And we
within the
left
period
one.
from 2020, we spent on National Cathedral. Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to be sure.
And you know, this hospital was a general hospital before now. If this is completed, of course, this will be a good one.
So this is the La area.
Yes.
This is the view of
but
the La area.
But you want to break down the old one, promising them that in 2 years you complete this one.
So at least if the old one was there, like we'll manage it.
If you know that you can't do it, don't go and break down the old one.
Like would have been managing it small, whichever state it was in.
Now there are people who are really or having difficulty getting access to emergency care.
Now they have to go to Lekma and all those places which are always full.
Rage, and in times of emergencies, they have difficulties getting access to beds. You know, even before an ambulance comes to pick you.
They will ask you if you have a bed.
Exactly.
So when
you know
did it
have you been picked by an ambulance before?
You don't know what we go through in this country.
They
They will ask you if you have a bed before the ambulance will come to your house. And if you already have a bed, now you have to pay for the ambulance, the fuel. You have to pay for the fuel.
Yesterday they told me that.
You didn't know?
I didn't know. Me, I thought that, but you know, every time they have been advertising.
We don't have money to go to South Africa and things when we are sick. We don't have money to go to SA and America and those things.
So they said that when they call the ambulance service, they say that if you have no assurance of a bed,
they will not come.
Yes. So this one would have added. And you know, when the COVID came, the president immediately in April came to do one of the what do they call it? The addresses. Fellow Ghanaians. And he promised that there will be 88 hospitals
We
built.
had 28 of them during that time.
Then quickly, then we had Agenda 111, and this one was included. It's 2 years, that thing hasn't been done. Now, do you know that just next month in March will be the 3rd year when the sword starts? 3rd year, and we haven't done that. It's not fair to the people. It's not only fair to the people.
Blocks for owner.
Owner. And the live pictures, drone shots, area view. And you know...
Now, even the ambulances, you know, in the Auditor General's report, we paid for 25 that didn't come. It's part of it. We paid for 25. It has not been delivered. And the ones who in the country too, they use it to pick cement and things. I don't know.
I mean, that's why I keep advocating that tell the people the truth. That this is the currency, this is the money I have. This is what I can do. Don't go and say that this is what I can do when you don't have the money.
It's like when we're growing up, your mother doesn't have money, you wake up in the money. So, Shirley, I don't have money today. So let's manage the last ewo, which is in the house. So we do actually with trimeko, and then we just add one salmon for 4 children and we eat. Everybody understands that mommy doesn't have money. But if you don't tell the truth, we'll be walking around thinking our mother is wicked. So now everybody is thinking the president is wicked, but he's really not wicked. It's only that he didn't explain things, you know, the way it is to us. You understand?
So now
how do we classify? Because if he was wicked, he couldn't have become president. He's not a wicked man.
So how do we classify that state where he should have explained and he didn't explain to us? How do we classify that state? Is it deceit? Is it lie? Is it just that maybe the talking was nice?
You know, in our Ghanaian culture, you can't tell an old person that he's lying. You can't do
I'm
that.
not saying that.
So we can't say that. So we just wait for him to come back. Because you know how we're cultured. In this country, you can't tell an early person that he's lying or something
what?
like that.
Let's hear some of the insights on the ground. Because we'll play that after big issues. And you have some comprehensive insight into how the people of La and its environs are feeling.
Okay. 4 years ago, there was a friend of mine who had cholera. He stays just around Apapa. Apapa to this place, it's just a walking distance. The person was in room, was just suffering from cholera. The only thing I could do was that I got there and I brought the guy here. The hospital told me that if I had taken an hour more, he would have died.
Of delay,
he would have died. This shows how strategic this hospital is to La people. This hospital was strategic because it serves the people of La, Teshi, Nungwa, even Tema. Also people are here. Even sometimes people from Kolebu who are not able to do something well there, they bring them to Gamashi.
So the people of La, your health is not good, etc. And I have a role model who stays in the area, Uncle Taff. He says, good morning, Roland. You're looking great. I have a serious call, especially those of us with prepaid meters and living in the area. Each time ECG increases tariffs, you have a problem. Now, assuming you have 100 Ghana cedis on your meter and you buy another 100, it rather reduces the total amount on your meter. So instead of getting perhaps 170 because of the increased tariff, you probably get 110 or 120. And it's complete thievery. This is somebody who, you know, they see unless you people run away.
This is TV3Newday. We appreciate the fact that you woke up at 6 a.m. to catch up with us. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with the big issue.